was but a toy, for the rain it raineth every day, with a high ho, the wind and the rain, and the rain it raineth every day.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Wheel of Shakespeare Challenge. I missed last week. I was doing a film that I'm excited to be working on, but I regret having missed all you guys then. But I'm glad to be back now with Sheila, Henry, Elizabeth, Bill, Maggie, and John to do some impromptu Shakespeare for you guys watching. So, based on the spin in advance, we have Henry is up first. I am on deck. I will go after Henry. Let me get the wheel up to see what Henry is going to do to start us off. There's the. Oops. Oh, no matter where, King Richard. God's sake, sit up on the ground. Richard II. Act 3, Scene 2, beginning. No matter where, of comfort no man speak.
2, 3, 3, 2. What's the first line?
No matter where, of comfort no man speak.
Oh yeah. Okay, got it.
Okay, so whenever you're ready.
No matter where, of comfort no man speak. Let's talk of graves, of worms, and epitaphs. Make dust our paper, and with rainy eyes write sorrow in the bosom of the earth. Let's choose executors and talk of wills. And yet not so, for what can we bequeath save our deposed bodies to the ground? Our lands, our lives, all are Bolingbroke's, and nothing can we call our own but death and that small model of the barren earth which serves as paste and cover to our bones. For God's sake, let us sit upon the ground and tell sad stories of the death of kings. How some have been deposed, some slain in war, some haunted by the ghosts they have deposed, some poisoned by their wives, some sleeping killed, all murdered. For within the hollow crown that rounds the mortal temples of a king keeps death his court, and there the antic sits, scoffing his state and grinning at his pomp, allowing him a breath, a little scene to monarchize, be feared and kill with looks, infusing him with self and vain conceit, as if this flesh which walls about our life were brass, impregnable and humoured thus, comes at the last, and with a little pin bores through his castle wall, and farewell, king. Cover your heads and mock not flesh and blood with solemn reverence. Throw away respect, tradition, form, and ceremonious duty, for you have but mistook me all this while. I live with bread like you, feel want, taste grief, need friends. Subjected thus, how can you say to me, I am a king?
Okay, awesome. Love that one. Haven't heard that one in a while here. Okay, so I am up now. Sheila, you are on deck. Sheila will go after I do. Oh, the same character, different part. Character when he's become even more miserable later on. Okay, Act 5, Scene 5. I have been studying how I may compare this prison where I live unto the world. And for because the world is populous, and here is not a creature but myself, I cannot do it. Yet I'll hammer it out, my brain I'll prove the female to my soul the father. And these two beget a generation of still breeding thoughts, and these same thoughts people this little world. And humors like the people of this world, for no thought is contented. The better sort is thoughts of things divine, as intermixed with scruples, and do set the world itself against the word. And thus, come, little ones, and then again it is as hard to come as for a camel to thread the postern of the small needle's eye. Thoughts tending to ambition, they do plot unlikely wonders how these vain, weak nails may tear a passage through the flinty ribs of this hard world. My ragged prison walls, and for they cannot die in their own pride, thoughts tending to content flatter themselves. They are not the first of fortune's slaves, nor shall not be the last, like silly beggars who, sitting in the stocks, refuge their shame, that many of and others must sit there. And in this thought, they find a kind of ease, bearing their own misfortunes on the back of such as have been endured the like. Thus play I in one person many people, and none contented. Sometimes I am sometimes am I king, then treasons make me wish myself a beggar. And so I am. Then crushing penury persuades me I was better when a king. Then am I kinged again, and by think that I am unkinged by Bolingbroke, and straight am nothing. But whate'er I be, nor I may any man but man is, with nothing shall be pleased till he be eased with being nothing. Music do I hear? Ha! Keep time. How sour sweet music is when time is broke and no proportion kept. So is it in the music of men's lives. And here have I the daintiness of ear to check time broke in a disordered string. But for the concord of my state and time had not an ear to hear my true time broke. I wasted time, and now doth time waste me. For now hath time made me his numbering clock. My thoughts are minutes, and with sighs they jar their watches on unto men's eyes. The outward watch, whereto my finger, like a dial's point, is pointing still, and cleansing them from tears. Now, sir, the sound that tells that hour it is are clamorous groans which strike upon my heart. Which is the bell, so sighs and tears and groans show minutes, times, and hours? But my time, while I stand fooling here, is Jack of the clock. His music mads me. Let it sound no more. For though it have helped madmen to their wits, in me it seems it will make wise men mad. Yet blessing on his heart that gives it me, but it's a sign of love, and love to Richard is a strange brooch in this all-hating world. Okay, never done that one before. Okay, Sheila, you are up, and you will do for us. Oh, Malvolio's letter discovery. So I just added this one. It's just like start from you find the letter, pick it up, read it. Or I think it's we can start before. And I think there's comments of the other people playing the prank, and you can just kind of skip them, because he is not aware they're commenting anyway. So you can start. I mean, he has a little bit of a monologue before he's talking to himself before he finds the letter. You can start with that, and then pretend you find a letter, and then read it and react to it.
Let's see. I see the major speech. I'm just trying to find where he finds it. Let's see.
Act 2, Scene 5.
Okay. I'm going to skip whatever interjections and start with finding the letter. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So whenever you're ready, go ahead.
What employment have we here? By my life, this is my lady's hand. These be her very C's, her U's, and her T's, and thus makes she her great P's. It is, in contempt, to question her hand. To the unknown beloved, this, and my good wishes. Her very phrases. By your leave, wax. Soft and impressive. Her Lucrece, with which she uses to seal. 'Tis my lady. To whom should this be? Jove knows I love. But who? Lips do not move. No man must know. No man must know. What follows? The number's altered. No man must know. If this should be thee, Malvolio, I may command where I adore, but silence like a Lucrece knife, with bloodless stroke my heart doth gore. M-O-A-I doth sway my life. M-O-A-I doth sway my life. But first, let me see. I may command where I adore. Why, she command me. I serve her. She's my lady. Why, this is evident to any formal capacity. There is no obstruction in this. And the end. What should that alphabetical position pretend? Oh, if I could make that resemble something in me. Softly. M-O-A-I M. Malvolio. Why, that begins my name. M. But there's no consonancy in the sequel that suffers under probation. A should follow, but O does. And then I come behind. M-O-A. This sublimation is not as the former, and yet to crush this a little, They would bow to me, for every one of those letters are in my name. Soft here follows prose. If this fall into thy hand, revolve. In my stars I am above thee, but be not afraid of greatness. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. That thy fates open up thy hands. Let thy blood and spirit embrace them, and to inure thyself to what thou art like to be, cast thy humble slough and appearance fresh. Be opposite with a kinsman, surly with servants. Let thy tongue tang arguments of state. Put thyself into the trick of singularity. She thus advises thee that sighs for thee. Remember who commended thy yellow stockings, and wished to see thee ever cross-gartered. I say, remember, go to, thou art made, if thou desirest to be so. If not, let me see thee a steward still, the fellow of servants, and not worthy to touch fortune's fingers. Farewell. She would that would alter service with thee, the fortunate unhappy. Daylight and champagne disclosures, not more. This is open. I will be proud. I will read politic authors. I will baffle Sir Toby. I will wash off gross acquaintances. I will be point devised, that very man. I do not now fool myself to let imagination jade me, for every reason excites to this, that my lady loves me. She did commend my yellow stockings of late. She did praise my leg being cross-gartered, and in this she manifests herself to my love, and with a kind of injunction drives me to these habits of her liking. I thank my stars I am happy. I will be strange, stout, in yellow stockings, and cross-gartered, even with the swiftness of putting on. Oh, Jove, my stars, another postscript. Thou canst not choose but know who I am. If thou entertainest my love, let it appear in thy smiling. The smiles become thee well. Oh, and there in my presence still smile, dear, my sweet, I prithee. Jove, I thank thee. I will smile. I will do everything that thou wilt have me. Scene.
Oh, I love it. Okay, great. So Elizabeth, you are up now. Bill is on deck. Bill will go after Elizabeth does.
Hello. I'm probably going to have to leave after this. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for letting us know, but we're glad we're
Yeah,
here,
me too.
we're here to at least let us see you do your monologue.
Busy days.
Oh, the ghost. We'll start with I, oh, my prophetic soul, mine uncle, and yours on I, that incestuous.
Oh my gosh, this is so long. Holy crap. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I
Okay,
have never read this out loud before. I, that incestuous, that adulterate beast, with witchcraft of his wit, with traitorous gifts, oh, wicked wit and gifts, that have the power so to seduce, won to a shameful lust the will of my most seeming virtuous queen. Oh, Hamlet, what a falling off was there from me, whose love was of that dignity that it went hand in hand even with the vow I made to her in marriage, and to decline upon a wretch whose natural gifts were poor to those of mine. But virtue, as it never will be moved, though lewdness court it in a shape of heaven, so lust, though to a radiant angel linked, will sate itself in a celestial bed and prey on garbage. But soft, methinks I scent the morning air. Brief let me be. Sleeping within mine orchard, my custom always of the afternoon, upon my secure hour thy uncle stole, with juice of cursed Hebanon in a vial, and in the porches of my ear did pour the leprous distilment, whose effect holds such an enmity with blood of man that swift as quicksilver it courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body, and with a sudden vigor does posset and curd, like eager droppings into milk, the thin and wholesome blood, so did it mine. And a most instant tetter barked about, most laser-like, with vile and loathsome crust, all my smooth body. Thus was I sleeping by a brother's hand, of life, of crown, of queen, at once dispatched, cut off even in the blossoms of my sin, unhouselled, disappointed, unannaled, no reckoning made, but sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. Oh, horrible! Oh, horrible, most horrible! If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. But howsoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and to those thorns that in her bosom lodge, to prick and sting her. Fare thee well at once. The glow-worm shows the matin to be near, and gins to pale his ineffectual fire. Adieu, adieu, adieu. Remember me.
Okay, very nice. Never read that before, huh? Okay, so Bill is up and Maggie is on deck. Thank you, Elizabeth. Bill, you're up. Maggie is on deck. We'll go after you do. Okay. What would you like to do?
How about another spin?
You just gonna spin again? Okay.
Sure.
Look at this. Fires in your ears.
Okay.
The end of Act 3, Scene 1. Much Ado About Nothing.
Okay.
Okay, whenever you're ready, go.
It's like fires in my ears. Can this be true? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much? Contempt. Farewell. And maiden pride. Adieu. No glory lives behind the back of such. And Benedict, love on. I will requite you, taming my wild heart to thy loving hand. If thou dost love, my kindness shall incite thee to our loves up in a holy band. For others say thou dost deserve, and I believe it better than reportingly. see.
Okay, sorry you got a short one after everyone else was getting long ones. Okay, but good with that. Maggie, we have Maggie and John left to go, and then we will spin for scenes. Maggie is going to do. Lear, Will wins.
3, 2, 1. Act 3, Scene 2.
Act 3, Scene 2, I believe.
That's one section is only like 10 lines. Do you want me to skip some of
Yeah, I
it?
think when we spun this one before, we made it longer. Where I think it's interrupted.
There's two kind of close to each other. Yeah, it's still pretty short.
You can just kind of skip up, pretend the fool doesn't respond, just cut him out and make it a longer monologue for yourself.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, all right. Blow, winds, and crack your cheeks. Rage, blow. You cataracts and hurricanos, spout till you have drenched our steeples, drowned the cocks. You sulphurous and thought-executing fires, vaunt couriers to oak-cleaving thunderbolts, singe my white head. And thou, all shaking thunder, smite flat the thick rotundity of the world, crack nature's molds, and Germans spill at once that make ingrateful man. Rumble thy belly full, spit, fire, spout, rain, nor rain, wind, thunder, fire are my daughters. I tax not you, you elements, with unkindness. I never gave you kingdom, called you children. You owe me no subscription. Then let fall your horrible pleasure. Here I stand, your slave, a poor, infirm, weak, and despised old man. But yet I call you servile ministers that have with 2 pernicious daughters joined your high engendered battles against a head so old and white as this. Oh, 'tis foul.
Okay, nice. So our last monologue before we spin for scenes will be done by John, and he is going to do. The porter. No.
Okay. I'm having a lot of trouble with my eyes today. Vibe 1, is it?
I think
Act 5, Scene 1?
No, Act 3. Right. Sure. Act 2. Act 2, Scene 3. From the very beginning, it begins with here's a knocking lead. The top of Act 2, Scene 3.
Okay, let me see if I can make my text a little bigger here. And then here's a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of hell guts, he should have old turning the key. Knock, 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 who's there? The name of Beelzebub. Here's a farmer that hanged himself in the expectation of plenty. Come in time, have napkins and how about you? You'll sweat for it. Knock, knock, who's there? The other devil's name. Faith, is an equivocator that could swear in both the scales against either scale, who committed treason enough for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator. Knock, 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 who's there? Faith, is an English tailor come hither for stealing out of a French hose? Come in, tailor, here you may roast your goose. Knock, knock, never a quiet. What are you? But this place is too cold for hell. I'll devil porter it no further. I had thought to have let in some of all the professions that go the primrose way for the everlasting bonfire. Anon, anon, I pray you, remember the porter. Scene.
Okay, nice. Okay, let's spin for some scenes for the six of us. Okay, so we got the two grave diggers, grave digger 1 and 2. Two gentlemen. Act 3, scene 1, that's the Duke and Valentine. And then ooh, this is I'm waiting to see this. This is why I added to the wheel recently. Titus Andronicus, Act 3, Scene 2, Titus and Marcus, where Titus kills the fly and Marcus says you shouldn't have done that, and then he says he envisions shows how crazy he is, acting like the fly, pretending it's Aaron. So Titus and okay, so for the six of us, the six roles to choose from, we have Titus and Marcus in the Titus Andronicus fly killing scene. We have the Duke and Valentine in Act 3, Scene 1 of Two Gentlemen, and we have the two gravediggers, Gravedigger 1 and 2. John went last. He'll get the first choice amongst those roles. John, what would you like?
Which of the two gravediggers? One of them has.
I think Gravedigger 1 has a lot more lines. I might be wrong. I think it's.
Oh, okay. Sorry to have to ask that question because, in fact, I'll just renege on that one. I'll try to do Titus, although I don't know very much about it. But let me do Titus. I'll just wing it.
Okay. Maggie, what would you like?
I will take the Duke and two gents.
Bill, what would you like?
Hamlet, please.
It's the two. It's actually the two great. It's before Hamlet and Horatio come in. The two.
Oh, okay. So Hamlet's not in this.
Yeah, it's the. If you want to do one of the gravediggers or one of the other roles,
I'll take a gravedigger.
Gravedigger 1.
Doesn't John already have a gravedigger?
No, he thought about doing that, and then he decided to do Titus instead.
Okay, yeah, gravedigger 1.
Okay. Sheila, your turn. We have Gravedigger 2, Marcus, or Valentine.
I'll do Valentine.
Okay. And then I will. So it's between Gravedigger 2 or I'll take Marcus. So John and I will be Titus and Marcus, the brothers, and Titus Andronicus, and that leaves Henry to be the other gravedigger. So let's see. So Bill, we got the beginning of Hamlet, the beginning of Act 5, scene one before Hamlet and Horatio come in. It's the two gravediggers. Get the banner for that. Bill and Henry are going to be the two gravediggers. Then Maggie and Sheila are going to be the Duke and Valentine. Then myself and John are going to be Titus and Marcus.
Are we ready to go?
Yep.
Is she to be buried in Christian burial that willfully seeks her own salvation?
I tell thee she is, and therefore make her grave straight. The crowner hath sat on her, and finds it Christian burial.
How can that be? Unless she drowned herself in her own defense.
Why, 'tis found so.
It must be se offendendo. It cannot be else. For here lies the point. If I drown myself wittingly, it argues an act. An act hath three branches. It is to act, to do, to perform. Argo, she drowned herself wittingly.
Nay, but hear you, good man Delver.
Give me leave. Here lies the water. Good. Here stands the man. Good. If the man go to this water and drown himself, it is, will he, nil he goes. Mark me that. But if the water come to him and drown him, he drowns not himself. Argal, he is not guilty of his own death, as certain as not his own life.
But is this law?
Aye, Marius, Crowner's quest law.
Will you have the truth on it? If this had not been a gentlewoman, she should have been buried out of Christian burial.
Why, there thou sayest, and the more pity that great folk should have countenance in this world to drown or hang themselves, more than they're even Christian. Come, my spade. There is no ancient gentleman but gardeners, ditchers, and gravemakers. They hold up Adam's profession.
Was he a gentleman?
He was the first that ever bore arms.
Why, he had none.
What art thou, a heathen? How dost thou understand the scripture? The scripture says Adam digged. Could he dig without arms? I'll put another question to thee. If thou answerest me not to the purpose, confess thyself.
Go to.
What is he that builds stronger than either the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
The gallows maker, for that frame outlives 1,000 tenants.
I like thy wit well in good faith. The gallows does well, but how does it well? It does well to those that do in. Now, thou dost ill to say the gallows is built stronger than the church. Argal, the gallows may do well to thee. Tooth again.
Who builds stronger than a mason, a shipwright, or a carpenter?
Aye, tell me that. And on yoke.
Marry, now I can tell.
Toot.
Mass, I cannot tell.
Cudgel thy brains a little more about it. For your dull ass will not mend his pace with beating. And when you are asked this question next, say, gravemaker. The houses that he makes last till doomsday. Go, get thee thing on. Fetch me a stoup of liquor. See?
Okay, great. So next we have the Duke and Valentine. That's going to be Maggie and Sheila. And the one we're doing when they finish, just to mention, Marcus and Titus Andronicus, myself and John are doing that one. Just for anybody who's listening, we could start from after the point where young Lucius has his line, but there's it's a good scene before and after that. So it's the entire scene is just Titus and Marcus, except for one line of Titus's grandson. We can either skip that, or if somebody volunteers to be added to the stream temporarily to read that one line, just consider that. Leave it in the comments while these two are performing. So anyway, have you two both found where to start from? Okay.
Yes. 3-1. Okay, great. I wanted to make sure. Sorry, I was looking at the end, so I lost the beginning. Here we go. Enter Valentine. Sir Valentine, whither away so fast?
Please, your grace, there is a messenger that stays to bear my letters to my friends, and I am going to deliver them.
Oh, be they of much import?
The tenor of them doth but signify my health and happiness being at your court.
Nay, then, no matter. Stay with me a while. I am to break with thee of some affairs that touch me near, wherein thou must be secret. 'Tis not unknown to thee that I have sought to match my friend Sir Thurio to my daughter.
I know it well, my lord, and sure the match were rich and honorable. Besides, the gentleman is full of virtue, bounty, worth, and qualities beseeming such a wife as your fair daughter. Cannot your grace win her to fancy him?
No, trust me. She is peevish, sullen, froward, proud, disobedient, stubborn, lacking duty, neither regarding that she is my child, nor fearing me as if I were her father. And may I say to thee, this pride of hers, upon advice, hath drawn my love from her. And were I thought the remnant of mine age should have been cherished by her childlike duty, I am now full resolved to take a wife and turn her out to who will take her in. Then let her beauty be her wedding dower. For me and my possessions she esteems not.
Oh, what would your grace have me do in this?
There is a lady in Verona here whom I affect, but she is nice and coy and not esteems my aged eloquence. Now, therefore, would I have thee to my tutor, for long agone I have forgot to court. Besides, the fashion of the time is changed. How and which may I bestow myself to be regarded in her sun-bright eye?
Win her with gifts, if she respects not words. Dumb jewels often in their silent kind more than quick words do move a woman's mind.
But she did scorn a present that I sent her.
A woman sometimes scorns what best contents her. Send her another. Never give her o'er, for scorn at first makes after love the more. If she do frown, 'tis not in hate of you, but rather to beget more love in you. If she do chide, 'tis not to have you gone, for why, the fools are mad if left alone. Take no repulse, whatever she doth say, for get you gone. She does not mean away. Flatter and praise, commend, extol their graces. Though ne'er so black, say they have angels' faces. That man that hath a tongue, I say, is no man, if with his tongue he cannot win a woman.
But she, I mean, is promised by her friends unto a youthful gentleman of worth, and kept severely from resort of men, that no man hath access by day to her.
Why, then I would resort to her by night.
Aye, but the doors be locked and keys kept safe, that no man hath recourse to her by night.
What? Let's but one man enter at her window.
Oh, her chamber is a loft far from the ground, and built so shelving that one cannot climb it without apparent hazard to his life.
Why, then a ladder quaintly made of cords to cast up with a pair of anchoring hooks would serve to scale another hero's tower, so bold Leander would adventure it.
Now, as thou art a gentleman of blood, advise me where I may have such a ladder.
When would you use it, pray, sir? Tell me that.
This very night, for love is like a child that longs for everything he can come by.
By 7 o'clock, I'll get you such a ladder.
But hark ye, I will go to her alone. How shall I best convey the ladder thither?
It will be light, my lord, that you may bear it under a cloak that is of any length.
A cloak as long as this will turn the tune?
Aye, my good lord.
Well, then let me see thy cloak. I'll get me one of such another length.
Why, any cloak will serve the turn, my lord.
Well, how shall I fashion me to wear a cloak? I pray thee, let me feel thy cloak upon me. What letter is this same? What's here to Sylvia? And here an engine fit from my proceeding. I'll be so bold as to break the seal for once. My thoughts do harbor with my Sylvia nightly, and slaves they are to me that send them flying. Oh, could their master come and go as lightly, himself would lodge where senseless they are lying. My herald thoughts in thy pure bosom rest them, while I their king, that thither them importune, do curse the grace that which such grace hath blessed them, because myself do want my servants' fortune. I curse myself, for they are sent by me, that they should harbor where their lord should be. What's here? Sylvia, this night I will enfranchise thee. Ha! 'Tis so, and here's the ladder for the purpose. Why, Phaeton, for thou art Merap's son, wilt thou aspire to guide the heavenly car, and with thy darling folly burn the world? Wilt thou reach stars because they shine on thee? Go, base intruder, overweening slave, bestow thy fawning smiles on equal mates, and think my patience more than thy desert is privilege for thy departure hence. Thank me for this more than all the other favors which all too much I have bestowed on thee. But if thou linger in my territories longer than swiftest expedition will give thee time to leave our royal court, by heaven, my wrath shall far exceed the love I ever bore my daughter or thyself. Be gone. I will not hear thy vain excuse. But as thou lovest thy life, make speed from hence.
And why not death rather than living torment? To die is to be banished from myself, and Sylvia is myself. Banished from her is self from self. A deadly banishment. What light is light if Sylvia be not seen? What joy is joy if Sylvia be not by? Unless it be to think that she is by, and feed upon the shadow of perfection, except I be by Sylvia in the night. There is no music in the nightingale. Unless I look on Sylvia in the day, there is no day for me to look upon. She is my essence, and I leave to be if I be not by her fair influence fostered, illumined, cherished, kept alive. I fly not death to fly his deadly doom. Tarry I here. I but attend on death, but fly I hence, I fly away from life. Scene. I didn't want to cut the monologue.
Yes, I'm sorry. I forgot that you still had that at the end, and I already switched the. I wasn't trying to cut you off. I forgot that was a really legitimate part of the scene that you had every right to add to it. Okay, so Henry volunteered to read the one line from the Titus Andronicus scene, and it was. I'll just add you in when it's time to say the line, and And also, John, you said you didn't have a lot of background in the scene. I think I said it wrong. The idea, I think we're talking, we're having dinner, and then it's Marcus that swats the fly, and this is after everything horrible's happened, and Titus has lost his mind completely. And first, he shows his lunacy by saying, "Oh, you killed that poor innocent, defenseless fly," and so to shut you up, I say, "I killed it because it looked like Aaron the Moor." Upon that, you say, "Okay, oh, really?" Well, take the fly and start stabbing the dead fly. So that's the background on what we're doing in the scene, and I'll add Henry when it's his turn. So, and it's the start of the scene, Act 3, Scene 2. You found it? You know where to start, John?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and start whenever you're ready.
Okay. So, now sit, and look you eat no more than will preserve just so much strength in us as will revenge these bitter woes of ours. Marcus, unknit that sorrow, wreathen not. Thy niece and I, poor creatures, want our hands, and cannot passionate our tenfold grief with folded arms. This poor right hand of mine is left to tyrannize upon my breast, who, when my heart, all mad with misery, beats in this hollow prison of the flesh, and thus I thump it down. Thou map of woe, that thus dost talk in signs. When thy poor heart beats with outrageous beating, thou canst not strike it thus to make it still. Wound it with sighing, girl, kill it with groans, or get some little knife between thy teeth, and just against thy heart make thou a hole, that all the tears that my poor eyes let fall may run into that sink, and soaking in drown the lamenting fool in sea salt tears.
Fie, brother, fie. Teach her not thus to lay such violent hands upon her tender life.
How now? Has sorrow made thee dote already? Why, Marcus, no man should be mad but I. What violent hands can she lay on her life? Ah, wherefore dost thou urge the name of hands? To bid Aeneas tell that tale twice o'er, how Troy was burnt and he made miserable? Oh, handle not the theme to talk of hands, lest we remember still that we have none. Fie, how frantically I square my talk, as if we should forget we had no hands. If Marcus did not name the word of hands, come, let's fall to, and gentle girl, eat this. Here is no drink. Hark, Marcus, what she says, I can interpret all her martyred signs. She says she drinks no other drink but tears, brewed with her sorrow meshed upon her cheeks. Speechless complainer, I will learn thy thought. In thy dumb action will I be as perfect as begging hermits in their holy prayers. Thou shalt not sigh, nor hold thy stumps to heaven, nor wink, nor nod, nor kneel, nor make a sign. But I of these will wrest an alphabet, and by still practice learn to know thy meaning.
Good grandsire, leave these bitter deep laments. Make my aunt merry with some pleasing tale.
Alas, the tender boy in passion moved, doth weep to see his grandsire's heaviness. Whoops, did I read the wrong one?
Alas, the tender boy, in passion moved, doth weep to see his grandsire's heaviness.
Peace, tender sapling, thou art made of tears, and tears will quickly melt thy life away. What dost thou strike at, Marcus, with that knife?
Oh, all that I have killed, my lord, a fly.
Out on thee, murderer, thou killedst my heart. Mine eyes are cloyed with view of tyranny, a deed of death. Oh, lost it. A deed of death done on the innocent becomes not Titus, brother. Get thee gone. I see thou art not for my company.
Alas, my lord, I have but killed a fly.
But how if that fly had a father and a mother? How would he hang his slender gilded wings and buzz lamenting doings in the air? Poor harmless fly, that with his pretty buzzing melody come here to make us merry, and thou hast killed him.
Pardon me, sir. It was a black, ill-favored fly, like to the Empress more. Therefore I killed him.
Oh, oh, oh. Then pardon me for reprehending thee, for thou hast done a charitable deed. Give me thy knife, I will insult on him, flattering myself as if it were the Moor come hither purposely to poison me. That's for thyself, and that's for tomorrow. Ah, sirrah, yet I think we are not brought so low, but that between us we can kill a fly that comes in likeness of a coal-black Moor.
Alas, poor man, grief has so wrought on him he takes false shadows for true substances.
Come, take away, Lavinia, go with me. I'll to thy closet and go read with thee sad stories chanced in the times of old. Come, boy, and go with me. Thy sight is young, and thou shalt read when mine begin to dazzle.
Okay, good job today, everybody. Love your performances. Look forward to seeing you guys same time next week for the next round of Wheel of Shakespeare Challenge. See you guys then. Bye now.